Hi everyone, Adrian Groenewald here, Me Vision Academy. It's a privilege to be with you, and we are busy with our purpose discussions with some great leaders out there, individuals who have discovered their purpose. Our purpose is to help them or to help people discover their purpose and then lead with their purpose. And on top of that, to prosper, whatever prosper means to them. So, purpose, prosper. So, we're going out there all over the world finding individuals who have discovered their purpose. And we know that it will inspire you or anyone else to do the same. Today I'm with Gabriel Herholdt. Known him for years. He's the head of organizational effectiveness and improvement at Harmony Gold. Gabi, great to be with you and thank you for joining us.
Okay, Adrian, happy to be here.
Gabi, first question, why? And we're going to ask you what your purpose is specifically. Okay, so hang on to that for a moment. But right now, why is purpose so important, have you discovered?
I'm going to give you a bit of my journey. So, as an HR practitioner, I was involved in, the generalist environment, staffing, ER. I even did some work on remuneration policy for a previous company I worked for. But the thing is that the work that I do must be something that you truly have passion for and that you believe is why you were put on this earth, why you were placed on earth. And mine is to work on new things, challenges, and hence the head of organizational effectiveness. But it took me the better part of 43 years to realize that. Um, and I was a little bit on a self-discovery route until somebody said it to me the other day. It looks like you've hit your sweet spot. So for me, making sure that you do what you're supposed to do is super critical. Yeah. So that's a answer to your question.
So why is it so critical? What happens when you discover it?
Well, what happened with me was it felt like it was this round peg in this round hole. I was connected to my work from multiple perspectives, and it's not just an intellectual one. I was thinking, breathing, considering options of the work that we're busy with in Harmony Gold, because we are busy with a lot of things as we talk. And the energy when you have challenges that you do get, which we all do, to get up and say, okay, hang on, how do I move beyond this? And not taking any no for an answer, and also no obstacle big enough. So
Mm.
it is this inherent energy. It's almost like it's a God-given talent that was discovered, and yeah, you can use it. And in my case, which I believe was the reason I was put on this earth, is to fulfill the role that I'm fulfilling at the moment. But it took a lot of humble pie eating and self-discovery, a lot of honest conversations with self to get to this point.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you agree that as soon as a person discovers their purpose, they start leading? Or if they're already in a leadership position, which they clearly are leading, whether it's good or bad, that's another question. If they discover their purpose while in a leadership position, which obviously has happened with you, then it takes their leadership to a whole new level, a more successful level, and it changes everything. But for someone who's a
Yeah.
technical miner or an engineer, when they discover their purpose, genuinely their purpose, even as a technical person, do you think that automatically turns them almost in a leader or in the direction of needing to lead?
I do. I do, and for the simple reason that we're all human beings, and when you lead humans. And I've seen it with my team and myself. So let me tell you, one some of the first things that happened with me when I discovered that I'm fulfilling my purpose and I am doing something that, from a Maslow perspective, it's like self-actualization. You're really busy with work that is not about you. It's about making this world a lot better. And when that happens, you actually step forward into that leadership space with, I think, a lot more accountability, a lot more humility. You also fully understand that, you cannot be successful without this collective human beings that surround you, to the left of you, even above you from a supervisor perspective. So if you're going to fulfill your purpose, and you do, one needs to be grateful for all these resources around you and really orchestrate it rather than manage it, or in a way manipulate it. So what went through my psyche at the time was, this work piece that I was, asked to do in Harmony Gold is such a massive challenge, that I was completely dependent on those around me, and I knew that I had to be the best possible leader I could be. Knowing all the leadership theories and all the studies and all the degrees, those are great. But when you're in the action, it's when you merge all of this with a good dose of humility and awareness of your impact on people, with the smallest gestures, body language, words. That was my journey.
Okay, you've given some hints and maybe even verbalized to some degree, but tell us, what is your purpose? What were you put on this earth to do? What did you discover Harvey Herholdt is supposed to be?
So that's so that's a good one. So my purpose is to bring a message of hope, trust, and respect. That's my message. That's my purpose. And the interesting fact is that my name, Gabriel, which is an archangel, of time and timing, as well as my surname Herholdt is an old German surname where the gents and ladies stood on the buildings and read out of a piece of paper, and they announced news to small towns in the good old days.
Mm.
So my name and surname says messenger, messenger. And when I started with this work, especially from a culture transformation, safety culture transformation perspective for Harmony Gold, just sense that Harmonites were eager to get this message of hope, trust, and respect, of this new way of looking after human beings in harmony, so that it's not just a talk thing, but it's a do thing. And we really value our employees, and that for me is the DNA of the business. But it was my job to land it. It was my job, through good messaging, through multiple tactics and individuals, support from our then group COO, who's now CEO by Snell, support from the RGMs, all of those leaders hooked up to this work, but it was the way the message was put on the table. I believe that was the most critical element, and how we took organized labor with us, and how the message was landed in this pool of respect. So we were very serious and still very serious about this. We haven't put our foot off the pedal in the way we've been doing this work from the word go. And so that is my purpose. I'm still living it. I will not walk out of that purpose. As a matter of fact, I think I can add to it. And I believe that a lot of employees, I also believe a lot of South Africans are quite hungry for good news and a message of hope, trust, and respect, so that they can get involved in making, not just a Harmony Gold better, but a South Africa better. And that's my firm belief. That's why I believe I was born, why God made me. I've got no doubt about it, and I can see, how that has just helped me to be a better person and inspiration for others, which I never thought I would be. I wasn't even thinking of that. Yeah.
And I've also picked up on the word energy in the previous discussion I did with someone, a great leader. She's so dynamic, went through hell to find her purpose. And she mentioned energy as well. It unleashes a certain kind of energy, and that then makes you a leader to a large degree. So you happen to be in the mining industry. I guess there must be some level of passion for mining. Your purpose is beyond the industry that you're in. Am I right? It's beyond organizations you may be in, but you're finding your purpose in harmony inside the mining industry.
Correct. I've worked in manufacturing and I worked in mining and I worked in various mining companies. But this is what I believe. I believe that mining is already complex and tough enough. It's our job as leaders to make it easier for those teams that are on the ground and earning our salaries. I always say it like that. People don't always like it, but that's my belief system. I need to serve them and respect them by doing it well. So, for me, this messaging that I'm talking about and this purpose, um, how I got to this purpose was just through going through a very tough time and realizing that I am not living my purpose and I am definitely not, let's call it at the potential that I should be and making the difference in this world that I should be. Not until that it's happened. So for me, that's exactly what's happening now. I feel sense that in the business. I also can feel and sense it in my friendship with friends, how that's influenced it, because the story is actually starting to expand. Family, and it's a story that people like to hear. I think there's a lot of there should be more positive stories to talk about, and if humility can get one to actually fulfill your purpose and you influence X amount of employees, then what a great job is that? I always said to my team when things get tough, I say to them, we can't get in a better business because we're in the business of saving lives. So let's not forget that, whilst all of this is so tough. So Alderon, it's a higher order of just being a human being and doing something in this world that you can't actually measure with rands and cents. It's far more valuable than that, and that gets me up in the mornings. That gets me to be very excited when I talk about the work that we do. And it's also good that I do that because it's not always easy, and you need that from leaders to depart a lot of energy within the business because you need to have self-belief in what you do. If you don't, don't start. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to tell people maybe it's out of place that you're actually at home not feeling well today, yet you were still willing to talk about your purpose and the power of purpose. That itself tells one how you feel about the issue of purpose. So let's end off with your advice to others, just simple advice on how to discover their purpose. If they haven't yet, or they think they have, what would you say to them?
So I'll make it personal. My wife is currently struggling with that as we speak. I mean, and this is the person that's the closest to me. So my advice to her and to everybody else there is um, keep on questioning that until you get the answer. And when you do so in, quiet time and more so prayer. And it has to come from a complete wholeness perspective, answering questions about yourself, which basically you yourself will only know. Um, I think it's easier to tell people what's their purpose, but the self-discovery of it, I think, is significant. It'll be good to have some old guard mentors to ask you questions and to help you to unpack, maybe the layers to get to your real purpose. That also can help. But for me, is if you're in your purpose, you got passion. If you got passion, you will perform, and if you'll perform, you'll make a difference in this world. So it's it doesn't come different to that. That for me is the order. And so yeah, it is be quiet, be real with yourself, be quite honest with yourself, ask for God's intervention to help you to unpack that. And then also there's a lot of wisdom in this world. One must also tap into that. There's a lot of old God that has already gone through a lot of challenges and can very easily assist somebody in their 20s to fulfill and understand what's their purpose, and not like me in my mid 40s, who realized it for the first time. But I also think that was God's game plan for me is to be a late bloomer, and so be it. I'm happy with that. Yeah, so those are my words of advice, Adrian.
One might find that to find your true purpose, you have to go beyond 20s. It's very possible. And you might think you have your purpose and then it evolves further. Gabriel Herholdt, Head of Organizational Effectiveness and Improvement at Harmony Gold. Thank you so much for your time.
Adrian, only a pleasure. Have a good day. Thank you.